In physics, we have learned that the alternative definition of physics, it is nothing but it is a science of accurate measurement. Definition. Alternate definition, it is a science of accurate measurement. So in physics, we come across several physical quantities, and it is required to measure those physical quantities. How can you measure those physical quantities? By means of measuring instrument. We will measure the physical quantity by the help of measuring instruments. We get a measured value, that is called observed value or measurement value, measured value. So when we measure a physical quantity, by means of a measuring instrument, we get a measured value or observed value. We get a measured value or observed value. So but it is not possible to measure a value of a physical quantity with utmost accuracy. So the true value is something different. The true value is something. The true value is different from observed value or measured value. Observed value. So the difference between this difference, in general, the error. What is error? Error, it is the, on average, we make an idea that it is the difference between true value and the measured value. So accordingly, if the true value, the measured value may be more than the true value or less than the true value. Accordingly, the error may be positive or negative. So now I will go to different type of errors, how different types of errors are encountered. So classification of errors. Error classification of errors. One is your constant errors. This is constant error. Then for systematic errors. This is random or accidental error. Random or accidental error. Accidental error. Then absolute error. Relative error. Percentage error. So different types of error are that. So we will learn one by one. First, your constant error. This type of error encountered occurs in such a way that each time the measurement, each time the measurement is affected in a similar way. The measurement is affected in a similar way. That means a constant type of error is encountered each time. Secondly, systematic error. In systematic error, what is the systematic error? This type of error comes into existence when by the way of a definite rule. This may be of several types. This may be your instrumental error, this may be your personal error, also it may be a error due to imperfection of the basis. Imperfection of an instrument. So this is systematic error. Thirdly, your random or accidental error. Random or accidental error. Random or accidental error. Error. This type of error error is due to no specific cause. It is come across accidentally. Then fourth type is your absolute error. So what is absolute error? So if we get the true value of a quantity and by means of the instrument we measure, we get the error that is called absolute error. But how can you find the true value of the error, which is not possible? So for that, we take the measurement for number of observations and take the average of those observations, and the average those observations is considered as the true value of the measurement. For example, so the absolute error is the difference between any observed value, any observed value and the average value of observations. Suppose your let or x bar is the average value of measurement, average value of measurement. Suppose you take how x bar comes, so that becomes x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to plus xi whole divided by I, or so suppose we can find for absolute value for the fast observation, that may be your x1, suppose delta x1 that is equal to x1 minus x bar. Similarly, your delta x2 is for x2 minus x bar. So these are the absolute error for the first observation, absolute error for second observation. Similarly, you can find out the average value of absolute observations or absolute measurements. Suppose we take n observations. Suppose we take n observation. So your delta, you take the average value of the absolute observations, that is equal to delta x1 plus delta x2 delta x3 up to delta xn whole divided by n. So this is the average value of the absolute error. So that means the true value lies between value of a quantity between x bar minus delta x bar and x bar plus delta x bar. So a true value lies between, still it is impossible to find out the true value or true value of the quantity. So we can find a range between which your true value of the quantity lies. So this is about absolute error. Then your relative error. And 5, your relative error. Relative error is nothing but the relative error is defined as the relative error is defined as the average value of the error, the average defined as the ratio of average value of error to average value of measurement. Measurement. So here delta x relative error is nothing but delta x bar, this is the average value of the absolute error, divided by average value of the measurement x bar. Percentage error. Delta xp delta x bar divided by x bar into 100. So this is the percentage error. So this is all about errors. In next class we will go through the operations on the errors. Thank you.